before he got injured. He did change us,
Absolutely.
you know, right?
Absolutely.
So I think right now is that although the players that are currently where they at now, they're no longer the type of players that we need because I think we've gone another level above
Yeah.
them, right? But you cannot say at the time bringing in Jesus, Zinchenko, that we weren't all gassed. The season after bringing in Declan Rice, like you said, Timber and Havertz, we weren't all gassed, right?
Why did we outgrow them after
summer.
a year, though? Why are we signing players we outgrow after a year? And let's not forget, we signed Jesus 3 years ago. And we only got 4 months of it.
the squad, Aaron.
Can I answer that?
And our team moving forward.
So what do we do? Spend 80 million over 5 years on the forward line?
No. The reason why we've gone another level is because I don't think we actually expected to be at this level. I don't know about you guys.
Well, we didn't expect to be at this level after 5 years.
I do think we're dining at a table they didn't think we'd be.
What level's that?
The time we signed Zinchenko and Jesus, I thought, wow, this is our level, right? I thought that they were going to take us to the next level. I did not expect, especially with Zinchenko coming in and being a game changer, doing that inverted role. Gabriel, before he got injured. Yeah, before he got injured.
That first title challenge.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I think the club think we're at a table we're not built for yet.
Let's say I agree with you then, yeah? You're talking facts, right? Let's say I agree with you. So if we sign them and they raise the level, then why haven't we signed any players that raise the level from them in the last 2
This is where the club is complacent now.
This is our problem. This is our problem, right? This is our problem, right? We need to get to a point now where, like I said, is that although I still believe that Arteta is still the right guy, right? The writing's on the wall now.
Yeah.
Right? If he doesn't by June, and he's making these bids, he's not making these bids, and by the time the season starts, and he's not making any bids, then we're like, okay, cool. Do you know what? You've made your bid. We're just gonna sit here until you get sacked.
Yeah. And if it doesn't happen, then that's when the fans are gonna turn. And
exactly. That's when it's gonna turn toxic. That's when it's gonna turn.
To be fair, though, Arteta and Arsenal, they've survived darker times with the fans.
No, I promise you, I don't know. It will be the darkest time if this doesn't go the way we want.
It really will. Because
all right, let me ask both of you this question. Yeah, obviously, just in terms of where we finished. Yeah, just imagine we fast forward a year and we've gone out the FA Cup in similar stances to Man United. We finished second again. We've got to a semi-final or 2 semi-finals in the Champs in the League Cup. Just all of that, literally what we did this year, next year. Do you lot genuinely think Arteta is getting sacked by Kroenke?
No, not
by all of the fan noise.
Not by the board, but the fans will make sure the fans will start.
And they would have got Champions League
to the point where they're gonna have to pull the trigger.
That's the thing is that you know what they see this as a business, right? That's fine. But we the fans, we're passionate. Right. The reason why we even having this conversation is because we want our team to be where they want it to be. But I'm telling you now, if he has the same type of season this season, you're going to start seeing fans no longer buying season tickets because they don't believe in the hope no more. Right.
But there's equally fans. Sorry to cut you, but there's equally fans that I'm not saying you can't believe in Arteta or not believe in him because I think all of you are balanced. You bring your reasons, but there's people that just commit to hating on Donny, and there's also people that are Arteta sexuals. Yeah. He has a cult following. Do you genuinely feel, because it's in the stadiums as well? Aaron's been there. Like, I've been there. Every person that's asking questions, there's bare of them. Do you really think he's going to get sacked? Because they've survived darker times, you lot.
That's the thing. Do you know what? Whilst I do agree, it becomes a fan base type of thing where the board will keep him. That's fine. Keep Arteta. But now you're going to start seeing the fans no longer wanting to be that guy that actually, supports Arteta no more. It's past that.
No, but it's more than that, man. Because remember, we'll empty stadiums. It will be. It'll be.
Exactly.
It'll grow. It's not even like. I don't think it's not even as far as you guys think. And we're speaking as if it's far. It's not even that far. I told you, if we don't sign the right players by the end of the window, it's already gonna start. And then we start dropping points in the first few games of the season, and it's like a snowball effect.
Did you see the end of last season? Did you see the end of last season where you're looking at the stadium? I'm in the stadium. I'm seeing a few empty seats, right?
This is copy and paste last season, though. We were saying this summer.
Yeah, he is. Of course,
last summer. We're saying the same thing. Do you not think that there is a very realistic realm of possibilities where we're both sat here on the 13th of June, 2026, going, well, if only Arsenal sign a striker and a winger, we'll probably be all right.
It's a different alternative.
We all said this last year.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you now, right? If no bids are made by the end of June, the fan base, you see this fan base panicking already, and it's only the 13th of June. It's going to get so toxic. It's going to get so toxic.
Yeah, but don't you not think Berta will be thrown under the bus then? If that's the case, because people will say, "Oh, you come in with the Atletico stuff and you ain't made nothing happen."
No, wait. Can I say something? Can I say something? You know why I say no? Because it's very clear and obvious what's happening. Arteta's, he's such a stubborn man. You can see clearly he's going to go get all the players that he waited to not pull the trigger on, and he's going to try and prove everyone, this is why we didn't sign anyone. This is why I didn't get the striker in the summer.
The detriment of Arsenal Football Club.
Those above him with his comments after the season.
He's a stubborn man at the detriment of Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah, sure, sometimes. But let's Aaron. But
I'll tell you why it's a detriment of Arsenal Football Club, because we haven't won anything for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but he's also brought us here to compete, right? So, you have to be balanced. It's both sides. Yes, there is
compete. What did we compete with? We after 5 games and after 10 games, we were 2 points beyond Liverpool. Didn't spend one day on top of the Premier League. After 10 games, we were 7 points. After 15 games, 7 points. After 27, 30, 25, 7, 37. Then it went to 15. Then it finished at 10. We didn't compete for the Premier League last year. We were nowhere near it. Yeah. We made the semi-final with the Champions League. All well and good. We lost both legs. We lost it after 3 minutes. After 180 minutes. Yes, we did. I was sat there in my own seat. We went 1-0 down and we didn't make a whimper. We lost it after 3 minutes, bruv. We lost every single semi-final. Four games. We lost every single one of them.
First leg.
We found our level. And it's the quarter-final. That's our level. If you're going to lose all of your games in the semi-final, maybe the semi-final ain't your level in the quarter-final. When
was the last time we was in the semi-final?
Of a Champions League.
It was against Manchester United in 2009. That's all well and good.
That sounds like 18 years ago.
One thing I agree with you, Aaron. The performance.
Did we win it? Did we win it in 2009? No, we didn't. So who cares?
But the thing is, that's the last one we got there, right? Since then, we've never ever got.
We win it.
I'll say this. No, we didn't. We didn't.
Who cares then?
I'll say this, right? The fact that we got to a semi-final, beat Real Madrid without a striker, by the way, and with all those injuries, right?
Whose fault is it we didn't have a striker?
Again, bro.
Yeah, but
let him finish.
Sorry. I shouldn't do that. Sorry. Go on.
No. We know whose fault it is, right? But at the end of the day, we had to use the tools that we were given, right? We had Marino up front.
We weren't given the tools. He chose to not add tools.
Okay.
Yes, I
agree in that.
Yellow card for Aaron.
But listen, you need to get to the point now. We're in April, right? The transfer window was 4 months ago, so we already accepted that we're not going to get a striker, and this is the tool that we have, right? And everyone expected, even us, even Arsenal supporters, we expected us to get battered by Real Madrid, both home and away. Yeah,
we didn't win a trophy for that, bro.
I know,
but
that's where there's both sides. That's where it's like the angel and the devil. Because I agree with both of you.
Whilst I do agree with it, right?
That's where we need to cross over to.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm trying to say now is that whilst all that was nice and fun and all of this and all of that, it's getting to the point where the writing's on the wall. Same with the guys that are backing Arteta. They're going to be looking at it and thinking, hold on, no signings, right? You've been telling us for 18 months, 2 years that you're going to go sign Shesko. No bids, no nothing. Is this really the guy? And it's going to turn toxic.
But the other side of it is they're not stupid. They know. And my belief, by the way, was that last year we were in this exact same position in the summer going in, everybody knowing, even our mothers, grandmothers, even people in the graves knew we needed a striker. Yeah. And we still didn't go pull the trigger. And I thought we wouldn't be that stupid. And then January came and I was like, okay, we have a chance to redeem ourselves. Actually, we're still second. We're still in 4 competitions. Holy crap, let's actually
remember it was Jesus' injury that changed all the language in January as well, it wasn't Saka's.
Nah, it's a lie, man. Arteta knows who he wants. He doesn't want to budge, and he's waiting for Saka.
I honestly think we went in for Watkins. Arteta wanted Watkins, and the club didn't want to go 16.
It's a smoke screen. It's a smoke screen to keep Arsenal fans doing that.
I don't think so. Do you know what? No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? From the time players are coming out and saying this, come on.
What do you mean?
Declan Rice was begging for Tierney. Begging for signings. He was saying Tierney's playing left wing, which is why I always say I feel sorry for the players and fans because they're being shortchanged.
Arteta's had about 12, 13 transfer windows to spend more than 6 players and 80 million on them to sign forwards. There's no excuse. He also could have maybe released Gyökeres's release clause instead of getting Mikel Marino in or Calafiori, but he didn't decide to do that. Gyökeres could have always said no, but why didn't he try it? Why did we feel the need to sign 2 ridiculously mediocre average squad players? Why did we do that instead of signing a striker? Why did we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no excuses about not getting a striker. I've been one of
It's
the Arsenal
pathetic.
fans.
It was
It's
pathetic.
pathetic. Yeah, 100%. But Aaron, like my perspective, the difference between me and you is like I find it cumbersome to like like get emotional over it, and like when we can't change it and I see what's happening. That's why I'm just over it at this point. I'm like, let him do what he's gonna do because there's nothing left now. Everyone's watching. Everyone knows he has to get the striker, and if he doesn't do this with the tools that he has right now, there's nowhere for him to go. There's nowhere for him to hide. As you said, we haven't made a final. FA Cup, we keep getting knocked out. We don't even make it past the third round. League Cup, okay, we made the semifinal. But honestly, like you said, no one really cares. I think personally, even if we won the League Cup this season, I don't think anyone would have given it any credit. I know people like League Gunners say, for example, if we won it, at least we would have won a trophy. I don't believe that, to be honest. I think people would have used that as a beating stick to say, oh, we already won the FA Cup. Oh, we already won the League Cup. We only wanted to win the major trophies. And because we didn't win anything, that's a perspective. It's like, oh, we could have at least won the League Cup. It's not enough.
One thing I will say,
bigger trophies than that.
One thing I will say, my friend, yeah? And I'll show you, right? Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Let's get this little. This was on my seat the last time Arsenal Football Club won a trophy, yeah? That we could have gone to the game. This was on my seat. This is why we go to football, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we go to football.
Wembley.
That's why we go. We go to Wembley to win stuff. That's why I pay the money. That's why I make the sacrifice. All about winning stuff. All about them days at Wembley. It would have made a hell of a difference. And I get the point that you're coming from, African Gooner. I actually do. I'm not going to argue that in sense of I get it. Maybe it would have still been an underwhelming season. This is why we go to football, bruv.
Yeah,
That's why we go to football, man. For a win, bruv.
Absolutely. But we both know it wasn't going to be enough. It wasn't
all about doing that.
I know, but it wasn't going to be enough for us. Like we're past that now. I'm not disrespecting the trophy. Of course, FA Cup, League Cup, they're trophies, but we know what we're going for. We're going for the PL that we haven't won in over 20 years, and we've never won the Champions League. So that's what I'm looking to get. And if Arteta can deliver that after 6 seasons, there's no more excuses. If he doesn't buy the strikers that he needs, that's why for me, whether it's Nico Williams, Semenyo, whoever it is, of course I want someone that I think is going to improve the team. But at the end of the day, I also think Arteta doesn't improve some of our players. We're just speaking about transfers, but it's bigger than transfers. It's also squad management. It's also substitutions. It's also relationship or player management.
He's adapted this season. He needs to evolve, man. Because you can talk about Gyökeres till you're blue in the face and Nico Williams, but when we get them and we're still crying about low blocks, I just want to know what people have to say.
Bro,
my point is there's many things that have to be changed.
Oh man, if we're struggling against low blocks and we sign all these players and bro, I don't even know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be so bad, honestly. Like I'll lose it as well. If we can't break down low blocks after this summer window, then we clearly didn't sign the right players. Yeah, bro.
Bearing in mind, my personal thoughts, and this is just me. When we talk about low blocks, when we talk about strikers, when we talk about in-game management, when we talk about managing or better yet, navigating multiple competitions and everything, actually, all three of you said, all of this, we didn't just learn that in the season that's just gone by. It's the season before. It's not, none of this is new. The only things we've learned that's new is obviously Miles Skelly's come up. All of the things or the negatives that have harmed us, we've been knowing about it. And I always say on my platform, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Arteta, Berta, everybody else in between, you need to get it done because you can't blame Arteta for everything. But I also feel there's this inability by some fans to blame him for some things. And unfortunately, it might not all be his fault. But fundamentally, we've all watched football. The manager's the most disposable. I don't know for being on 50 mil a year. There's accountability now.
And he's also the first person you point the finger to, right? It's normal.
And and if you win us major trophies, you'll get your praise. Same with Kroenke, same with everyone else. That's how I run it. But unfortunately, we're underperforming. We've got the highest tickets, highest season tickets, highest paid manager. A lot of Arsenal fans want to sing from the rooftops, and I'm not even being negative or anything, but people want to sing from the rooftops about how good Arteta is, blah, blah, blah. Hold him to those standards. Apart from Pep now, with Thomas Frank leaving, he's been here the second longest. My biggest problem is we've talked about the future, and if this don't happen and that don't happen, we've gone over the past, and whatever way you look at it, we need to seize the present, bro. The present needs to be seized, because what you don't want to do is look back at these 3 years or 4 going into next season and think what's going on. We don't know if Liverpool's going to fall off a cliff. I don't think they are, but we don't know what's going to happen with
They don't look like
They've seized the moment. Go on.
Yeah, for me, I mean, they definitely think that Liverpool, I mean, even Man U, bro, like, let's be honest, like, they're shit and they finished 14th, but if they sign the player that they're supposedly signing, those are players that we would have signed. So, you have to give it credit a little bit at least, right? You got to respect it. I mean, I saw the stuff about Mbeumo going to Spurs, but I mean, Cunha is a good signing, and if they get Gyökeres, it's a good signing. So there's going to be a lot of competition. Newcastle, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. We know. Like the league is getting more and more intense every single season. And DG, you're right. Like current present moment, it does already feel before the season starts that those last 3 seasons are a missed opportunity already. And it's funny because Havertz was 2 points away from being the best ever Arteta signing we've ever seen, right? And we were so close because we were so close to winning the league, right? We were 1 game away from winning the league, so Havertz can't be that bad of a signing, right? Like it changes. If we won the league, Havertz becomes the best signing ever. It's that it's just such small differences in the game. So for me, like you're right, present moment we gotta focus on it. We gotta get.
It's always next. At some point, you've got to seize the moment.
Yeah, there's no more next.
So sorry guys, I keep getting kicked out. But yeah, sorry. We're just to recap. What were you guys saying? Just so I can comment on it.
We were just talking about it's more about also having a plan A, plan B, plan C tactics, in-game management. Like it's not just about us signing the players, right?
Yeah. I agree. One of the things that really irks me about Arteta is that he leaves it so late to make substitutions.
We can build, Aaron, but at some point the building needs to be done. But I'll cut you. Go on, bro.
No, it's fine. We leave it so late to make substitutions. Why are we chasing the game or the game's drawing? We need something to change, right?
Yeah.
And we leave it to the 80th.
We need that injection.
We need an injection, and this is the reason why I know Arsenal are not going to do this. Yeah, this is the reason why I know Arsenal are not going to do this. But why not go get 2 strikers? Why not go an Ollie Watkins and a Gyökeres or a Benjamin Sesko?
Because you still have Havertz and Jesus, bro. That's the problem. If we could have sold Jesus,
who signed them?
Whose fault is that?
I know, but Aaron, we can't go back. We know who signed them, bro. Like we know who freaking signed them. Bro.
Do you know what? We're all agreeing.
The thing is, though, this is building to my point. When I say Arteta out, this is all the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
With all of this,
I get it.
That's why I said you can't be blamed for everything. But this illusion to some people that he's a damsel in distress, it don't work out.
No. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. He is to blame. He is to blame for a majority of the things. But he has taken us to a point where I didn't actually think this club will be able to go.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why did Spurs, after winning the first trophy in 18 years, sack their manager after winning the Europa League, and we kept our manager after failing to qualify for it, losing to Olympiacos, losing to Sporting Lisbon, and losing to Emery's Villarreal? Why did he keep his job?
You're right. I was surprised.
There's no issues if Arteta was the guy to steady the ship, not necessarily get us over the line. Everything's on the table.
Let them keep their manager after winning it, and we keep a manager who's lost 3 and then didn't even qualify for it.
We have had 3 golden years.
In the conversation where we are as a team and a squad is very different to where
I think it's this comment.
I totally hear you. By the way, like I was really surprised, as I said, like they won a major.
It's genuinely this comment on screen.
Their coach after winning the Champions League, I was like, what? They won the Champions League and they fired their coach? We would never do that, right? So I hear what you're saying, but also we've invested so much time and so much planning and strategy. It's foolish right now to just pull the plug, which is why, for me personally, as an Arsenal fan, I'm giving it 1 more season.
5 years, bro.
I know.
These last 3 years have been golden.
I think it has to be 3. I think personally,
but either way, it's not got over the line. That's the thing. If I isolate you, I like you as a manager away from Arsenal, but it's an over the line thing now.
Yeah,
do you know what it is? It's head vampire.
It's getting bigger and bigger every year. That don't happen.
Do you know when you kill the vampire and all the others wake up? That's what it's like. When Arteta goes, all these top gooners will be like, "Fuck me, what have we done for the last 6 years? What's happened? Are we still in 2019?" Everyone will wake up and go,
I don't agree with that.
Well, that was a massive waste.
I do think there's a lot of excuses afforded. I'll be real. I see both sides of the debate.
I don't think we've wasted the last 6 years because I don't believe that if we maybe had
done in the last 6 years,
we'd be where we are today. And I think we're taking that.
Well, we'd have probably had some success.
I know, but we don't know if someone else came, if we would have even been where we are, competing for the league 3 years in a row. And I'm not saying
we didn't compete for the league 3 years in a row. We competed for the league 2 years in a row. I'll give you that. We didn't compete for the league last year.
2.5.
We didn't compete for it last year. Not 2.5, 2 years.
Okay,
not and a half. There's no half. There's no half.
Plus a semi-final, right? Which
that's not competing. That's losing, humiliatingly bad.
But it's improving as well. Like this is the thing.
Why is it improving though?
Aaron, with people who don't like Arteta, like I've had this conversation before with Lee Gunner, with
where's the improvement?
Is it so many people? Like if they say like, oh, Arteta's done bad, he hasn't done any good, and I don't know. I don't understand why fans believe that way. It's not black and white. Arteta can have made mistakes.
But it is black and white. You either win or you don't.
But it's not that black and white. Only one team wins. Only one team wins.
Why is it never Arsenal then?
I know, bro. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm on your side.
That hurts.
Like, it's not that
exactly.
black and white,
Why is it never Arsenal? Only one team wins. We entered 4 competitions and we won neither of them.
I know. I hear you, bro.
And like I said, since we won the FA Cup, we entered 19 competitions and we've failed in successfully.
It's true. That is true.
19 competitions. It is true. It's fact. You can't argue it.
It's true. It's true. It's true. That's the reason why. It's that although I'm Arteta in, I completely understand the reason why people want him out. I completely understand it.
But you agree with me that it's not so easy as like, he hasn't done.
No. I agree. Yeah. This is where I'm at. It's almost like I get why people want him out, but it's not as just easy like that. There's complexities that you kind of need to take into consideration.
And he's also done good things. He's done
great. Like guys, I don't remember the last time I bought a season ticket beforehand. Right, I used to go with my parents before that. This is the first guy in such a long time. I'm talking about 10 years. They made me want to buy a season ticket again. It's. He's taking us places.
My friend. I'll tell you who was taking people places. Kenny Dalglish, when he was appointed Blackburn Rovers manager in 1991.
Oh, that is a different.
No. Hold on. Let me land. While he was in Division 1 and he got promoted that season, and then within 3 years he won the Premier League. It wasn't that difficult for Kenny Dalglish. Arsene Wenger, we got him from Grand Passat. In his first full season, he won the domestic double.
Wasn't that easy for him? What about Jose? Who they actually competing against?
Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, both of them.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. That was it.
And we still won it. What about Jose Mourinho when he was appointed in the 04-05 season? Oh yeah, in the 04-05 season, he won the league and the Premier League.
But again, how many teams were competing?
How long did it take him? 3 teams.
Yeah, but how many teams were competing, Aaron?
3 teams. How many were competing this year? 1. Only Liverpool. They were the only team competing. Carlo Ancelotti won it in his first year. Mancini won it in his second year. Pellegrini won it in his first year. Ranieri for Leicester won it in his first year. Conte won it in his first year. Guardiola won it in his second year. Klopp won it in his 4th year. Slot won it in his first year. It don't take time, boys. Whatever you
to
say.
To be fair, though, one thing. Sorry, Aaron. But there is one thing Aaron's right about, because everyone that was saying, City are a juggernaut and they can't be stopped and all of that kind of stuff, they said if City ever fall off, we're there to pounce. We saw how this season went, so I do think that is a valid claim.
All right, guys.
I won't lie. They do say winners win and losers explain.
But let's say this now. Let's say this now. Let's say this now, right? Imagine Salah got injured for 3-4 months, the same way Saka did.
I know. I swear people.
No, I hear that. We all know there's been injuries or some say unprecedented.
Okay. What about last year? What about last year when we didn't get any injuries?
Last year, that's fine.
But do
you know last year
when we was injury-free?
Aaron, listen to me, bro. Listen, Aaron, last year we lost 1 game to Aston Villa, right? Whilst Manchester City went on a tyrant run. Bro, come on.
1 game too many, bro.
I hear that. But what I'm trying to say, it's never been done before. What Man City done last season was almost crazy. It's never been done before. That you go the whole second part of the season.
Bro, they do it. They do it every year.
No, they don't.
That's what makes last summer even more disappointing. How this season played out. The whole club was complacent from top to bottom.
But they lose games. They lose a couple of games.
Yeah, but
have a little look at Manchester City over the last 3 or 4 years, and have a look at their domestic form after January, and it's been unbelievable. That's when they win their title. Come on, man. You can't say that.
But they still have a couple of losses.
Okay. So the season before that, then why were we 8 points clear of them? And then they
we bottled it. No. The season there,
is the exact same thing the season before. You're saying it's never been season. You just said it's never been done before, but they've done it the season before to us as well. So what are we doing?
But that's different context because we wasn't even in the contention no more.
Come on, they've done it the season before. They literally done it. And then they've done it against Liverpool. Then they always do it. They finish strong, Manchester City. That's what they do. That's how they won Premier League. Come on, bro. Come on. Have a look. Have a look, bro.
Aaron, of course they do. But what I'm trying to say, in terms of the losses, they'll get maybe 1 or 2 losses, and they'll still power through. Last season, they didn't get no losses.
Yeah, 0 losses in the second half.
0 losses in the second half of the season.
They won everything.
So ultimately, the only thing that's been consistent is we've not got over the line.
Sam, we were really good. We were really good at the end of the last season. But whether we like it or not, we just weren't good enough. Whether we say, it's a valiant effort, it was tough, it was good. I can't.
Which is why both things can live in the same realm. It ain't necessarily black and white. But we did lose
to Aston Villa. It weren't good enough. It's as simple as that. We can't escape the fact that if we hadn't have done we would have won the Premier League. If we would have drew, we still wouldn't have done it. We just cannot escape the fact that Manchester City went on that run and we won an impressive run, but equally it just wasn't good enough. And that's not down to bad luck. That's not down to this. That's not down to that. That's just down to us not being good enough. Exactly right. Exactly right. Facts. But it still weren't good enough.
I don't even think it was one game.
Do you know what, yeah? Do you know what? There's no unluck about it. Do you know what? I used to play snooker, with an old boy, right? And he was excellent at snooker. And he used to give me and I always used to have a shot. And I used to say to him when he was near, I used to say, "Oh, unlucky, mate." And after about a couple of months, he used to say to me, he said, "Aaron, why'd you keep saying unlucky?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, but, it was a really good effort. You nearly went in." He was like, "I had the cue in my hand. It was my eye. I struck the ball. It didn't go in because I didn't pot it. I wasn't good enough. There's no unluck about it." And that's exactly the same as my point.
That's why I think two truths live in one realm. We can talk about all the other stuff. We ain't got over the line. We need to find a way to do that.
Comparing us with Man City, who spend more money than us, have a better coach than us, are more organized, have been together. Like they're above us, bro. Like they're above us.
We've been together. Let's not pretend like we've been together for like 2 or 3 years though. We've spent $750 million over half a decade.
I can't lie. I'm not saying you're wrong, but if that is genuinely the truth, where are we going? What are we doing here then?
No, I know.
Being devil's advocate. Then what are we doing?
I think this season really, because of the injuries, it was an excuse. I don't think we had enough before the season. So although I agree that the injuries did play, it's an excuse for me because I don't think even
all of these things play a part as to why we haven't got over the line. We were complacent in the summer. We dropped the ball, several balls. Yeah, and I can understand if even if the most loyal Arteta fan or loyal to the project, let's just say project, actually has lost their heart, because again, as you lot said, we missed out by City. Fantastic run, boom, boom, boom. We came into the summer knowing what we needed. We didn't do it. We found Neto and Sterling. No one was convinced by Sterling. Yet some people still said, you know what, Arteta's worked with him, and we've all seen the season play out. You have to start as you mean to go on. We have dropped the ball.
Yeah, but
wait, not able to win the league, only spending 40 million on Chiesa
in the last window, and now, sorry,
because they already said
300 million or whatever, 200 million. We can't do that. So how do you can't compare ourselves with a team like that can just go sign Marmoush, Turkey, and all these? We don't. Well, that's not us, right? So I think it's a bit unfair for us to now.
That's why we need to control the controllables. I hear what you're saying, but what does that have to do with us finding a striker, finding a centre mid, having a competent team, our manager taking what he's good at, and then obviously looking at what he's bad at?
Have more depth. I think even if
but that's where I'm starting to disagree, because it's cop-out now, bro. It's cop-out now.
To get to the point now,
because if Arteta genuinely didn't believe, regardless of that, you're not going to sign a new deal. These players are not going to sign new deals. I hear what you're saying about all these guys, they got money to spend, rah, rah, rah. That has nothing to do with us either spending our little pennies on a household striker. And I know the game's changed, but finding a little Adebayor or something. As I said like 10 minutes ago, everything that's been an issue the season that's just gone was there the year before. We have not controlled the controllables, bro. So we can do the romantic, courageous Arsenal against money-hungry City. If we're going to do that, what are we doing here then? Then we're just on the ride.
African Gooner. Are we moving like a big club? Yes or no?
No,
exactly.
No.
But Liverpool and Manchester City. Liverpool and Manchester City.
We're not behaving in the way we need to.
Liverpool and Manchester City acting like a big club.
Yes. Absolutely.
And there lies the real one thing.
Are they being incompetent? We're not being incompetent.
And because we never addressed that problem, Aaron, that's why I'm like, why do we expect to address that problem when we've never done it? It's like my heart and my soul, I know that we don't.
African Gooner is defeated.
If you want to do something you never did, you got to do something you never did. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Expectation for us to start moving like that, what I'm seeing from Berta, like when I talk about negotiating for two big players.
Yeah, we've never done that.
To be fair, we're showing an ability to pivot.
Because last year we got spanked. We put all our eggs in one basket, and then when the basket got yanked from us,
we had nothing.
And they're looking.
Sterling,
right?
bro.
And the Liverpool thing, people can say they got Salah and all these guys, which is true. They got good players. Nobody had them to win the league. A lot of Arsenal fans were doing the mathematician thing, like they're gonna fall off. They got a small squad. They found a way to do it. We didn't, which makes it an even bigger question for us.
Just quickly as well, I don't trust the basket, and I don't trust the geezer who's putting the eggs in it. That's the problem for Arsenal Football Club.
I hear that.
I don't trust anything that's happening. That's my problem. I don't trust it because I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. I didn't eat my Weetabix and I'm a little bit hungry. Do you know what I mean? I'm annoyed because the last 5 years we've not been good enough, bro. Like I've got a history. There's a reason why I feel like I do, and it's purely because I've seen this for the last 5 years. I could go further back, but this conversation isn't about anything post Arteta. It's not. It's solely on the structure of now. and what Arteta's done. That's how I always relay what I feel. And over the last 5.5 years, it's just not been good enough. It just hasn't.
I'll say 3 years. I'll say 3 years because
a winger could have. I'm not even trying to get at these players, but Kai Havertz, because I think there's too much said about Kai in it personally to him. But Kai Havertz 65 mil, Marino done all right, 30 odd million quid. I like Calafiori, but Calafiori 30, 40. 40. I just want to ask. We've known within the last 2 years, of course, I'm being a bit disingenuous because it's 2 different periods, but we've known we've needed a left winger, or at least Arteta did. You tried to bring in Mudryk.
Exactly,
so you've had money. You could have got a left winger and a striker. You could have, regardless of what this team doing and that team, and they've got money. This is what I mean. We are not controlling our own controllable.
Can I say
Go ahead.
It's that although we needed a left winger when Trossard was brought in. Don't you think Arteta's thinking is that okay? You know what, Martinelli?
Not cool with Trossard. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Don't you think Martinelli's still there? He's still thinking that Martinelli is going to get that form that he had 2 years ago. Because I was.
What did you say there 2 years ago? And this is what I always say. If we've got if we want to be a team that, like you lot said, we beat Real Madrid, we beat City, couple players go through purple patches, top 6 record, we finish second, we win some battles, not the war. We've got enough, We've got enough. You see, if you want to get over the line and win trophies, man need to be able to score goals up front. You need a left winger who at least does 50% of what Saka does. We can't keep crying about depth. We need our manager to be able to pivot. All of these things are in our control, But if we did all of this and then, man, they are better than us, you can just put your hands up. But that's not been the case. And all 4 of us know it. And everyone in chat knows.
If he's expecting Martinelli to improve in 2 years, that in his mind, he should know what he needs to improve.
It's a bench thing. Martinelli, Kai Havertz, Marino, man, they're not bad players. It's a bench thing. We take bench players and make them starters. And they'll be good across the season. They'll show 10 games where they're unplayable. Equally, there's 10 games they go missing. And it's a mixed bag. If you want to win a league, you need to know who you're betting on. That attacking unit is only Bukayo Saka. Asterix, Wanyeri. Havertz has scored goals, but it is only Bukayo Saka. We have said this time after time after time. If we don't change things, we're going to keep talking about the same things.
That's because there's no plan B at the football club. The plan A is we'll keep this rigid defensive structure because after we bottled the league 2 years ago, the manager's petrified about attacking. That's just an absolute fact because he just locks everything in. And the attack is give it to Saka and hopefully he whips in a good ball in or whips it in the far corner. When that don't work or he gets injured,
we have nothing.
Where's Arsenal Football Club? We've got nothing. We're toothless. And to be fair, Mikel Marino done a good little job up top. But what we're doing here, long throws exactly right. Now you're taking the piss out the semi-final. We got to a semi-final when we reverted to Rory.
I know. But I'm fair.
We got to a semi-final when we started turning into Stoke City. Rory Delap throwing in the box. Come on, man. Come on. We found out that semi-final with the Champions League was not our level. We just found it out. We lost both legs. And it was comfortable. Come on, PSG didn't get out of second. They didn't get out of first gear and even both of them.
They think that's a bit hard saying not our level. They think
it's not our level.
It weren't our level because we lost quality players in attacking.
I'm with DG there. I think it showed that what we're just
capable.
It's almost there.
That's where I think we self-inflicted.
There's no almost about losing all 4 legs of a semi-final competition. There's no almost, bro. We didn't even score against Newcastle. Oh, that was 4-0. That's humiliation, bro.
The semi-final for the Carabao.
Come on, Darren.
That was absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, right? But at the Champions League, although PSG did beat us, it wasn't a dominating sort of performance by them.
Because they didn't get out of first gear, bro.
But don't you think that's the trap we get into? Like we're even, the shots are there, the field tilt's there, everything's there. But we don't feel we're not the winners.
Oh, don't start that field tilt.
Did you not see in the chat?
DJ mentioning field tilt. No, I ain't having none of that.
No. But no. I'm asking the question. That's what I'm saying. Because we're in that trap of field tilt, XG, possession, shots. It's all close. But we're not the ones winning. It's like Arteta coming out and saying we're the best team in the Champions League.
It only matters what happens in the top left-hand corner, and that's the scoreline. That scoreline red. We lost
I'm going with about putting in the back of the net.
Sod XG, sod field tilt, sod.
No, have all of that. Put it over the net now. Because I don't know about you or anyone in the chat. I am not going to care that we had field tilt and PSG in the final. They went and won.
We had Rory coming on and going, well, Arsenal, they beat PSG over 3 games. I need a shit really desperately. Do you know what I mean? PSG, who cares, Rory? Who cares, chat? No one cares about XG. Only the result of the game. Chat. Was it 1-0? Was it 1-0? That's what all matters. We lost the home leg. We lost the away leg. We lost convincingly over 2 legs. Exactly.
I'll just say this. Going back to the original question that DG you asked, right? How far are we from getting over the line? I believe we're not that far.
We're not. With
I believe we're not that far.
2 or 3 players.
All right, 10 being over the line, yeah. How far are we?
7, 8.
I would agree as well. 7 or 8.
7, 8. We're not far at all, guys. Like,
I think 4.
What? 4 out of 10? 4 out of 10?
I think 4.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. And I genuinely tell you why.
Go
I'm not with this positive or negative stuff. I need to know my manager has his tactics and all of that stuff. I actually don't necessarily care that you're stubborn and all these things. But you need an ability to learn from your mistakes, and you need an ability to pivot. Until you can show me that, okay, I can plan, micromanage, inverted left back. But you see when that goes left, until you can show me that you can pivot around that, until you can show me you can break down low blocks, until I feel we have the quality in attack and the depth and all of these kind of things, then I can't believe it. And I don't even mean that in a disingenuous way. We are a good team. I want us to be a great team. Until I'm able to look at certain players and know what I'm getting from, and let's all be honest here, the defensive unit, you know what you're getting. Whether you like them, you know what you're getting. Midfield, it's a bit mixed. You know what you're getting. The attack, squad players at best, Bukayo Saka and the young Wanyeri. So for me, it's a 4-5.
And you're saying young Wanyeri, like disrespecting Trossard and Martinelli and Havertz as if they're not decent players. Like,
but that's the thing; they're decent squad players. If you want to get over the line, you need more.
About Wanyeri before we even mention our freaking starters. You know what I mean?
I said asterisk next to Wanyeri, meaning he's a young player.
Yeah. I know, but like you're acting as if like Nwaneri's gonna be, you know what I mean? We can't be putting.
I don't know what you're talking about acting. I said asterisk. He's a young player. There's no expectations.
I know, but like, why are we talking? But it has to be more than that. Like, for me, I think people underrate Havertz, and I'm sorry. Like, you know, I wasn't for him, but I think he's overachieved, and I do think he's a good player, and I do think he will help and contribute for us next season. I don't think someone like Nwaneri is going to be contributing for me next season as much as I think people are hoping. And we saw that this season with the way MLS is the one who's playing more games than Nwaneri. Honestly, the way Arteta's been treating Nwaneri, he hasn't even played him when there's been opportunities. And I hear the discussion we said about him, you know, his fitness and stuff, but there's been blatant opportunities where before, when Odegaard was injured out of the team, and we didn't even play this guy. And at that time, he wasn't even playing. So for me, like mentioning Nwaneri, like, I don't know. For me, I don't even see him playing a major part, honestly, next season. And that's why it has to be either a Rodrigo, who's going to completely change our left wing, and Martinelli becomes the bench, and then Trossard becomes that player who plays on the right wing for me, or Jesus.
Let me say this super chat real quick before you carry on. Big up Snake Eyes. What a crazy name. Arteta has deluded some of these fans to think it takes a long time to win. It does not. Managers are judged by trophies. Arteta has spent a lot and nothing to show from it. We have regressed. Unlucky, lads. But yeah, go on, African Gooner. You were speaking. I just wanted to get that out.
I was just saying, like, I don't know. Everyone has their own perspectives. I think a lot of people judge Kai Havertz harshly because he was forced down our throats, not because he's actually a bad player, in my opinion. Because we know that we could have signed a better striker, and we spent so much money on him. Arteta made that decision, and he has to live and die by that, and he is living and dying by that.
That's why I don't get at Kai no more, because you didn't buy yourself. You've worked out a bit better. Fundamentally, it's more problems.
That's another question I wanted to ask, guys. Is it just Arteta? Do we think that he does have the iron fist that he says yes or no?
Yes.
Or do you
Clearly, it's not just Arteta, but the nature of the business, it comes with the manager.
If you say yes, then why did he point at the board and say they need to do what they need to do?
Because he's a smart man. He knows what time is. That's why I said it's not just it. I never said it's
now Berta's here and he's deflecting. That's why. Arteta before previously said, I have the final say on signings. Direct quote, inarguable.
Do you really think Arteta would have dared to speak like that in public without already having those conversations with them? They already knew the PR they were going to put out. I promise you, I know this club, man. They had
everyone's in this thing together.
They had those discussions and they told him, this is what we're going to say. We're going to front that we're actually trying to get an attacker, but they knew they had these conversations. You know that they met in the USA in December to discuss who we were going to be signing in January and who we were going to be signing in the summer. So they had already decided. The plan was already set out. In my personal opinion, it was all PR. Whatever Arteta said, I didn't believe it. I hardly watch his press conferences anymore because I know he fronts majority of the time. And Wenger did that really, really well. And that's part of being a good manager, being able to conceal and hide those things. Who's in training, who's injured, all the tactics, right? And my opinion is that it's all hearsay. You know what I mean? I don't think he wanted to strike. If he wanted to strike, he would have bought one.
What's the date for the PR trophy parade?
This guy.
I just want to know, because we're so good at PR. I just want to know, because obviously it's such a big PR thing. You know what I mean? Everyone loves PR at Arsenal Football Club. I just want to know when the parade is.
Well, the parade's been happening because he's still there, right? So technically, in my
no, that's the circus. That's the circus.
That's the circus. The parade must happen. I think in December, Aaron. Or like I think November, December. If we're like third and we're out, we're not. I think that's probably your parade date. In my opinion,
I don't think Don's getting sacked mid-season unless we're eighth. God forbid, Arteta's not getting sacked mid-season.
Everyone belongs in here. Look, come on, everyone belongs in here. Come on, in you go. Woo, in you go. Berta, bye-bye. See you.
Yeah, you keep saying, why you keep sending shots at Berta?
In you go.
I know. He has an agenda for
let's get to the bottom of this.
Zinchenko, in you go.
Yeah,
Zinchenko's at Berta, and he's been here 2 minutes.
In you go. Let's all go in the bin.
This guy's on to Mr. Berta. Surely Berta should be given some time.
So in terms of who makes the decisions, it has to be Arteta, bro. Come on, he makes the team. He knows who he wants to play. Like when we see these decisions about Fabio Vieira, about Reece Nelson, about keeping Nketiah, and Edu wasn't making those decisions. Josh Kroenke is not telling him to go buy Calafiori for 40 million. Like that's why when people look at the board and look at other people, I agree. I think Edu does have some part, right? His part was probably let me use my Brazilian connection.
Where's the talent ID? Talent ID in the bin.
Arteta's the one who's like,
we trust man.
Players. Let's see what we can make happen.
Talent ID in the bin.
Makes a decision based on that. That's my personal opinion. I really point the finger at the coach because he's the one who decides which players he wants to play and which players he doesn't
on everyone, man.
wants in his team.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm just on the board itself. I'm just on the
but
manager.
how? Explain to me.
Every one of them. The manager, the board. Every one of them.
Explain how does Richard Garlick or someone like Edu or how does someone like Josh Kroenke, what blame are you putting towards them when they've given us the money, right, to spend and they've given us a budget and then it's the manager and the sporting director's responsibility to now go and execute the plan and do everything. And then maybe go to Josh Kroenke and say, hey, by the way, we're going to pull the trigger on this. Okay, yes, no. And he probably just, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, cool. If you guys think that, pull the trigger.
Everyone, because there's probably been times where that's happened and they fucked it up, times where Arteta is suggesting dickheads and it's not worked. Everyone's in this together, man. Everyone has to hold.
I have to agree with DG. It's not just Arteta. It's all of them.
Everybody.
Right? And the thing is, you need to remember as well. Josh Kroenke comes out again. You might think this is PR as well, but he comes out with like, yeah, we're going to completely back the manager now. We're going to give him the transfer money to spend. Right?
Did he not?
But listen. What I'm trying to say now, what is the definition of a technical director? What are they supposed to do?
Someone that recruits and puts together the strategy of the long-term strategy of the club in terms of squad management and finances and everything.
Perfect, right? But what are they supposed to do is be like, cool, we've got a prime target, right? Yeah. And you're supposed to give them maybe 4-3.
Have an ability to pivot.
Yeah. Give us the ability. Edu wasn't that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Or he was, but the players were shit.
So exactly, right? So he was.
But to be fair, it's come out. Edu's the reason we got Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah.
So
one out of how many?
One out of how many?
But to be fair, we don't know. How do we know?
But listen, this is the same guy.
How do we know Mikel Arteta wanted Declan Rice and it weren't the next thing?
No.
Everyone's in it.
Arteta was on it. But I'm just saying this is the same guy.
I'm being devil's advocate.
I heard that, my bro. But this is the same guy that said Marquinhos is going to be a wonder kid, right? So we took in Marquinhos thinking, oh my gosh, this Brazilian guy that Edu is just come in and he's been scouting and all
Brown
this
envelope,
Fabio Vieira as well. Let's put him in that category too.
Yeah.
How many players did we sign from the
Fabio Vieira team?
Who did we get him from? Sao Paulo.
No, Edu.
Yeah, Sao Paulo.
Yeah. We gave him 3.5 million to keep it all nice and rosy with him. How many players did we sign since then? Oh yeah, none. Arsenal Football Club are the only football club that paid 3.5 million to not sign any players from them, like to keep positive negotiations. For what?
Well, either way,
we pay 3. That shows you how backwards Arsenal Football Club's transfer dealings are. We pay 3.5 million for free signing.
That's what I want to hear, bro. I want to hear
that shit, bro. It's not just and we signed him over Kvaratskhelia.
No, that's a lot. But how? Come on, that's not true, man. How are we even believing that crap? Just because it sounds like Daily X put an article that he misquoted
That's all well and good.
All of a sudden, like, oh, we chose Marquinhos over. Like,
I agree with you. Bro. I agree with you. Why didn't we go in for him in January, though?
Yeah, that I won't argue.
When?
I won't argue with you.
In January, when PSG got in. Why didn't we just throw a name in that?
Do you actually think we can keep up with the likes of PSG in terms of what they're offering for wages?
No,
I think we should be trying. I think we should be trying.
Put our name in the hat.
To be fair, we should have got Carrot before January. January is the myth.
I'm trying to say the reason why I have to blame the technical directors, because yes, cool. Imagine we have Arteta making the signings, and I want this, I want that. You're supposed to come in, but like once they fail, okay, these are the next 3-4, right? Because I can name you 3-4 that we can buy alone from the Prem. I know you mentioned Rashford. I didn't really want Rashford. I know you done really well at Aston Villa. I don't really want him. I was thinking about maybe like a Wissa. Right, a Wissa from Brentford would have been good. Yeah, or Mbeumo to kind of come in.
No way, that man leaving in Jan though.
Yeah, you know, more so Wissa. Mbeumo wasn't leaving because obviously they would have asked extortionate prices. But Wissa, from the time I was seeing 30 million. Mitoma.
Williams.
Yeah, Mitoma. What do you think about Mitoma?
Nico Williams ain't leaving in January.
And Saudi Arabia came.
Williams don't want us. Clearly, don't want Arsenal.
No, but this guy wants 450k minimum.
That's
probably for us. That's probably for us. He's clearly whoring himself out for Barcelona.
Who does want Arsenal? That's the real question. Who does want Arsenal? That's the real stinker.
Come on.
Who does want Arsenal?
Nah, man, people can want Arsenal. Let's just get their business done.
Yeah, who? Where are they?
This is where we need better, man. But that's what I was asking you, Aaron. You keep saying this shit. Why are you
Aaron, how about this, bro? Aaron, how about this,
He's feeding the dog, isn't he?
Aaron, how about this, yeah?
Because he's got to bed himself in. You know, like he hasn't been doing the sporting director's role for the last 10 years as a seasoned veteran with TV. Oh, he just came in. He's feeding the dog. He's your winner, lot. He's a pedigree chum. What we doing here? He's not on fucking. He's not on fucking learners. Fucking whatever it is. You know what I mean?